Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Naruto and Kaguya teleported in Wakfu and Harem? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the Crimson Kyubazage for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. Unknown location. Throughout the barren landscape, there were 4 particular figures that stood out. The first was a spiky blonde-haired man with 3 whisker marks on each cheek. He had a black headband with a metal plate at the front, etched into it was a metal carving of a symbol resembling a leaf. He also wore a golden open high-collared golden jacket and black pants. He was also covered in a veil of golden flames. To the right of him was a black-haired man, his hair resembling that of a duck's butt. He also had red eyes, his right being a red eye with 3 tomo in it, and his left being fully red, with 4 rings coming from the pupil and 6 tomo, 3 on each of the middle rings. He wore a grey shirt with a high collar and a strange red fan emblazoned on his back, dark grey pants, and a light purple rope belt. Above these 2 was a pink-haired woman who had a blue diamond mark on her forehead. She wore a black long-sleeved shirt, the right sleeve having been destroyed, and black pants. And finally, there was a pale red-haired woman with pupilless eyes that had a light glow to them. She was the source of all this conflict. She wore a high-collared kimono with tomo running along the front and around the sleeves. She had a pale complexion, a red eye with 4 rings and 9 tomo in the center of her forehead, and 2 horns atop her head. In this order, these were Naruto Uzumaki, hero of the leaf, the orange Hokage, and the child of prophecy. Sasuke Uchiha, the last living Uchiha, and the Uchiha Avenger. Sakura Haruno, apprentice to the legendary slug Sannin, Tsunade Senju. And lastly, Kaguya Utsutsuki, mother of all chakra, the rabbit goddess, and the rabbit demon. Currently, Kaguya was in the middle of being punched by the other 3. Sakura was punching Kaguya from above, while Naruto and Sasuke punched Kaguya on either side with an open palm. Rikido. Chibaku Tensei, 6 paths. Heavenly body bursting from the earth. Naruto and Sasuke yelled. Yet again I, the origin of all chakra, am defeated by chakras that are created from, but a part of me, Kaguya thought before a frown, and a look of determination crossed her face. No. Not again. Not this time. She thought. Summoning a new portal. She's trying to escape. Sakura exclaimed as Kaguya started going through the portal. Not if I can help it. Naruto yelled, rushing at the escaping form of Kaguya. He tackled the goddess through the portal after making contact. Naruto. Sasuke and Sakura exclaimed, but it was too late as the portal closed. As a look of worry crossed their faces, little did they know that this would be the last time they would ever hear of the orange Hokage and the rabbit demon. But Naruto and Kaguya. As the portal closed behind the duo, Naruto lost his grip on Kaguya as he floated around in the space between dimensions. Damn it. The ceiling is still taking effect. Kaguya thought, a look of panic coming across her face. Suddenly, it came to her. Asura's descendant. Of course. A swift chop to the neck was all it took for Kaguya to knock Naruto out cold. She then used her infinite chakra to begin making Asura's descendant into the perfect host body, starting with destroying his soul. Naruto the Biju cried out as the small fraction of their souls they left inside Naruto were destroyed. Following the removal of the Biju, Kaguya then started the process of destroying Naruto's memories. Starting with his most recent memories, Kaguya erased all recollection of any events. This continued for 5 minutes, nearly all of Naruto's memories being destroyed by Kaguya when suddenly, said rabbit demon began collapsing in on herself. What? Kaguya exclaimed in confusion before it hit her. No. She yelled as her body collapsed in on itself, sealing her way in the space in between dimensions, thus ensuring her demise. Not even Black Zetsu was able to make it out in time to escape his certain doom. After hundreds upon thousands of years, the rabbit demon was finally vanquished. Meanwhile, Naruto was left unconscious floating in the nothingness that made up the space he was in. For what felt like hours upon hours, the unconscious form of Naruto floated through nothing. Suddenly, a bright white light began enveloping him before chipping away until there was nothing left. Outskirts of Oma. Walking down a long rural path was a certain couple. The first was a dark blue-skinned man. He had white hair that went halfway down his neck and a long white beard. He wore a tan short-sleeved shirt with matching pants, and a dull yet serious expression was on his face. Standing next to him, arms interlocked, was a woman. She was about a few inches shorter than he was and had a cat-like appearance, brown hair and brown eyes. These 2 were Cabrock and Miranda, loving couple of 11 years. Their jolly stroll was interrupted by the sound of wind and lightning. Cabrock. Miranda yelled, despite her husband being right next to her. I'm right next to you. Cabrock said. Do you hear that? Miranda questioned. You mean that eerie wind and lightning sound despite there not being a single cloud in the sky? Cabrock asked rhetorically. Yeah, where is it coming from? Miranda asked. Suddenly, her question was answered when they saw a distortion near the side of the pathway. Lightning and wind swirled around in a miniature maelstrom, the epicenter being about 5 feet in diameter. As the duo got closer and closer to the source, wind whipped around at their forms as the wind and lightning began swirling around more violently, reaching hurricane speed levels. A bright speck of white light appeared. Followed by a second, then a third, until more and more came, forming a white silhouette of a small body. The light began disappearing, in its place was a small child. The child was around 4'6" with a pale complexion. He had spiky pale red hair and 2 small budding horns protruding from his forehead, and he wore a small white haori with a high collar. The haori had dark red trimmings around the edges and tomo running along the collar. After the last of the white light disappeared, the small child collapsed on the ground with a thud, seemingly unconscious, blood staining his right arm. Abrock and his wife rushed over to the boy, said Asamoto, putting his fingers to the side of the boy's neck. "He's got a pulse, but it's faint," Cabrock said, the dull expression on his face being replaced with a look of seriousness. "I think we have some bandages back at the shop," Miranda stated. Cabrock nodded his head and rushed back to retrieve bandages. What could this boy have gone through to be in a state like this? She asked no one in particular as she cradled the boy's head in her lap, running her fingers through the pale red hair. Suddenly, after a few minutes, the boy's eyes began to open, revealing bright cerulean blue eyes. He blinked a few times before he tried to sit up, only to wince in pain and fall back down. Where the boy began to speak, his voice no more than a whisper. "Don't strain yourself, you're severely injured," Miranda said, putting her hand on the boy's chest to stop him from getting up and further injuring himself. "I'm back with the bandages," Cabrock exclaimed, handing said medical items to Miranda. "Good, he's woken up," Miranda stated. She started wrapping bandages around the bleeding areas of the boy's body. "What's your name?" "And Naruto," the boy stated. "Naruto? What's your last name?" Miranda asked. Naruto looked down, his face riddled with sadness. "Do you have a last name?" I can't remember," Naruto said. "Is there anything you can remember besides your name?" Cabrock asked. Naruto shook his head no. "Oh, you poor boy," Miranda exclaimed, pulling Naruto into a hug. "Can we keep him?" she asked, giving her husband the dreaded secret weapon that was hardwired into every female, the puppy eye look. Well, Cabrock started, but then saw a fiery look in his wife's eyes, one that screamed, "We are doing this whether you like it or not. And if you don't, I'll castrate you with a rusty spoon." "Alright." "Yay?" Miranda exclaimed. "Hey Naruto, how would you like to be a part of our family?" The moment she asked that question did a bright smile appear on Naruto's face. He quickly nodded his head yes and returned the hug. Cabrock smiled at the scene before being motioned by his wife to join in the hug, a sigh escaped his lips, yet a smile was on his face as he did so. 2 years later. Dad, look. A young 8-year-old Naruto exclaimed. Not much had changed about him over the past 2 years. His hair had grown out a bit, his complexion was a little less pale, and he had grown to around 5'3". He wore the same robes he did 2 years ago, the family having shortly discovered that the robes grew with him. His horn-like appendages had grown slightly, once being the length of half an inch, now being 1.5 inches in length. "What is it, Naruto?" Cabrock asked, walking up to his adopted son. "Look at what I can do," Naruto said, waving his right hand up. The simple motion, added with a strange and foreign energy. Well, foreign to Miranda and Cabrock. Caused a small pure black ball that was about a foot in diameter to materialize into existence. Cabrock's eyes widened as he saw Naruto place his hand on the black ball, said red-haired boy's face straining slightly as he did so. Seconds later, the black ball started changing shape, eventually transforming into a rod of the same color that was about 2 feet in length. "How did you do that?" Cabrock questioned. "I don't know. I feel as if I've seen this thing before, but I just can't remember," Naruto said, a sad look crossing his face. "Hey, don't worry about it, Naruto. I'm sure that you'll find your answers one day," Cabrock said, placing his hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Thanks, Dad," Naruto exclaimed. "So what else can you do with these black balls and rods?" Cabrock asked. "I don't know, I've only tried changing them into black rods, or when I think about them, they appear," Naruto explained. Well, how about you try thinking about changing the shape of one into, say, a flat circle?" Cabrock said. Naruto formed another black ball, placed his hand on it, and started trying what his father told him to. His face scrunched up as he tried mentally commanding the ball to become a flat platform. After a few minutes, the ball started to flatten out, becoming an inch in thickness and 5 feet in diameter. When it finally happened, Naruto's face had a large smile of success on his face. "I did it," Naruto exclaimed, jumping up and down in excitement as he did so. "That's great," Cabrock said. Soon enough, he'll be ready to go out and have his own adventure." 7 years later. Naruto. Miranda yelled. "What is it, Mom?" Naruto half asked and half yelled from another room. "Where did your father go?" Miranda asked. "You sent him out to get the new supply of Sedita bags." Naruto replied. "Well, I need someone to get this package out to Amelka pronto," Miranda said. "I can handle it," Naruto said, stepping into the same room as his mom. Over the years, he had certainly grown into a fine young man. His pale red hair had now grown out to the middle of his back, somehow retaining its spiky appearance. His haori was a perfect fit for him, the collar being opened up slightly to reveal the upper portion of his bare chest. His face was nearly devoid of any baby fat, his horns now 3 inches long, and he wore no shoes. Surrounding him was 6 black orbs, or Gundamas, truth-seeking balls, as he called them. He stood 6 feet tall, quite tall for his age. All in all, his attire screamed royalty, but his attitude spoke the exact opposite. "Are you sure you can handle it?" Miranda asked. "Mom, I got this, don't worry," Naruto exclaimed, grabbing the package and running out the room. 3, 2, 1 Miranda counted down, not a second later Naruto ran back into the room. Who's the package for?" Naruto asked, rubbing the back of his head sheepishly. "It's a regular order for some new plates for the restaurant out in Amelka. It's to Albert," Miranda stated. "Right. Got it," Naruto said, exiting the room once more. Amelka, Amakna. It was early in the morning, all was calm as the small patches of grass gently swayed in the breeze. It was for certain that all was peaceful. Boom. Was the resonating sound that came from the nearby building. "Ah. Not again," a voice exclaimed. "Yugo. Yugo." A young boy around the age of 12 groaned before getting out of bed, a small yellow circular bird falling out as the boy got up. The young boy had blonde hair under a strange light blue hat with a tail and ears. He wore a yellow sleeveless shirt and light blue shorts. This boy was Yugo. "Humming," Yugo said, heading down the stairs of the building, the bottom floor being encased in a cloud of black smoke. "Cough, what is it?" coughed Dad. Yugo shortly made his way to the kitchen, his small yellow bird companion, Oz, following shortly after. Inside the kitchen, a large man with a large mustache wearing a chef's hat. This man was Yugo's adopted father, Albert. "Dad's baking bread," Yugo exclaimed, throwing his hands up in the air. "The fun never ends around here." "Off, it's not funny, Yugo. Now go to Jason's and get 5 loaves," Albert said, walking over to the trash can and dumping the batch of burnt bread into said waste disposal. "And be quick. We have some gobball stew to prepare. When the sun shines." "When the sun shines bright, the guests are in sight." "Yeah, I know," Yugo said with a grin. "Come on, Oz. Last one there is at work." "Such a good boy," Albert said with a chuckle. Yugo ran outside, his faithful companion Oz following after him. The boy ran ahead of Oz, confusing the bird as to where his longtime friend went. The little yellow bird walked around, searching for Yugo. Said boy jumped out from behind a tree. "Ah. Ha 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 ha," Yugo exclaimed as he surprised Oz, laughing before running off. He wasn't paying attention to where he was going and ran into someone. "Oof. You alright, kid?" a familiar voice asked. Yugo looked up to see the looming form of Naruto. "Yeah, sorry about that. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going," Yugo said. "And hey. I'm no kid. I'm 12. "Whatever you say, kid," Naruto said. "If you want to make it up to me, can you point me in the direction of where one Albert lives? I have a delivery for him." "Oh. You're looking for my dad. I can take you to him as soon as I get some bread from Jason's," Yugo stated. "Sweet," Naruto said. "I'm Naruto," he said, offering Yugo a hand, to which the boy accepted. "I'm Yugo," Yugo said. "With Oz." The little bird Oz flew around until he saw a bright gleam in the grass. Approaching the object of interest, Oz saw it was a single comma. The tiny yellow bird landed on the golden coin, settling in with a sigh. Another tiny yellow bird appeared and started pestering Oz, the latter squeaking at the other bird, as if to tell the other to back off. The bird flew away, causing Oz to settle back in on top of the comma. Until the other bird came back, charging into Oz and knocking said bird off. The bird squeaked in rage before settling on the comma. Oz flew back to the other bird, the two having a short argument before Oz took to the skies. Seconds later, Oz came crashing down and started jumping up and down on top the other bird until it got off the coin, so as to not get jumped on. The two birds then landed on the comma and started pushing against each other, both screaming as they did so. An elder man said. He wore a light gray giant shirt, a sash, and wooden open-toed shoes. He was bald, but had a white beard and bushy eyebrows. In his hands, he held a shovel-like weapon. This was Rule Stroud. "Which one of you bird brains wants a piece of Rule's shovel?" Rule exclaimed, hefting his weapon in the air. The two birds soon went flying away, screaming in fright. Rule quickly twirled his shovel and slammed it down, causing the comet to fly up before he caught the single coin. Now even the birds are out there trying to get rich. He said with a chuckle at the end. My purse gives meaning to my life. Excuse me. A young woman called out. Oh no you don't. It's finders keepers, losers weepers. Rule exclaimed. Is this the way to Amelka? The young woman asked. Getting a better look at who he was talking to, Rule saw two people. The first was a blonde-haired 17-year-old girl wearing a parka, and the second was a green-haired tan 15-year-old girl, who also wore a parka. Both were riding on dragodikis. But that wasn't what caught Rule's attention. No, what caught his attention were the golden objects that were with the two women. Yes. Rule said, laughing a little as a certain money gleam came in his eyes. Absolutely. Been here before. If not, I can give you a tour. It would be 5 commas, plus meals on top. No thanks. The blonde-haired woman said before going off. Goodbye, old man. The green-haired woman said. I'll get you a good discount on the meals. The innkeeper is a good friend of mine. Come on. Rule shouted. Yet more tight-fisted country bumpkin tourists. He said before going off, singing a song as he did so. Unknown to him, a small robotic insect watched the elder man, snapping a picture as it did so. With Naruto and Yugo. Yugo started cooking up gobball stew using his unique style of cooking. Ta-da! One Albert special. Yugo exclaimed from inside the kitchen. Alright, just sign here, here and here. Naruto said, holding up a pad with a piece of paper in one hand while the other held a small cylinder-like package. Okay, there, Aeonthier. Albert muttered, signing his name where Naruto told him to. Wait, how did you fit everything in there? Trust me, you don't want to know. Naruto said, handing the package over to Albert and storing the pad in one of his sleeves. Why don't you stick around for some gobble stew? On the house. Albert said. Really? Thank you. Naruto exclaimed, bowing his head slightly before sitting on one of the stools at the counter. A minute later, the doors opened up, revealing Rule. Mr. Mayor, good day. Rule exclaimed. Well I'll be a greasy gobball. Rule Stroud. Albert said. Come to pay your tab. Albert, it's a lovely day, so please don't go spoil it for me. Rule stated. Have a seat, you old coot. So what have you been up to? Albert asked. Oh, you know, another day another comma. Rule said. You were so right Albert, a life with a shovel is no life at all. As he continued talking, Rule sat at the stool next to Naruto, said stool having a nameplate that said Stroud on it. I was thinking about hanging mine up too and open a restaurant in Banta or maybe put together a gobball team. But just as you were about to take the commas from your pocket, you got cold feet, right, haha. Albert said jokingly. Oh, I see. I open my heart to you and what do? You just make fun of me. Rule said in mock sadness. Same old story, you old crook. You've told it to me every day for the last 10 years ha. Albert exclaimed. Rule just grunted but didn't deny the accusation. Yugo, add a plate of gobball stew for this poor Enutrif. Albert said. No problem, Dad. Yugo yelled from the kitchen. So what's the story? How do you two know each other? Naruto asked. Well, he and I go way back. Long before I even settled down. Albert stated. What made you settle down? Naruto questioned. And you still haven't told me how you got Yugo. Rule added. So who was it? Phallus. Well, Albert started. Flashback start. A younger Rule and Albert stood next to a man wearing ragged clothes and a cloak. Oh come on, you're not gonna throw me in the slammer for stealing an oppie, are you? The man asked. I hope you like walking as much as you like talking, cause we've got a long way to go before we reach your new home. A younger Rule stated, eating said oppie while he did so. It was just an oppie. A tiny little oppie, eh? The man questioned. Yeah, but you know the proverb, Jason, he who steals an egg will soon steal a gobball. The young Albert stated. You bounty hunters are all the same. You're hypocrites. I stole to feed my family, so you can spare me your petty sermons. You don't understand anything. The man, presumably Jason, exclaimed. Are you really asking us to believe you have a wife and kids when you have a face like that? Rule questioned. You dirty Jason started. Daddy. A young voice called out. Turning to the source of the voice, the trio saw a little girl in rags, her eyes widened and filled with worry. Mia, go back home. Jason said, pulling his cloak to cover his handcuffs. Tell Mom I've got an errand to run. I'll be back later. Tears started to well in Mia's eyes. Don't cry. Albert said. Oh dear me, I know that look. Rule stated. Sorry, Rule, I don't have the heart for this anymore. Albert said, raising his shovel up and slashing the handcuffs off of Jason. Get out of here, before I change my mind. Phew. Come on. Jason said, picking up Mia and walking away wearily, his eyes trained on the duo as he did so. Rule grunted. Albert threw his shovel on the ground, taking a seat on the nearby bench. So that's it, you've finally made up your mind, huh? You're hanging up your shovel. Yes, older brother, this is where we go our separate ways. Albert said, the two shared an handshake. May the great Enutrif watch over you. Good luck, my friend. Rule said before walking away. Good luck, Rule. Take care of yourself. Albert said, sitting back on the bench with a sigh. I never was able to dig up anything half decent with this shovel anyway. Suddenly, a thick fog rolled in, followed by a whooshing noise. What's that noise? Albert questioned. Seconds later, the mist disappeared. Is there anybody there? He approached a nearby tree, only to see a small blue bundle. Oh. Ah. The sound of a baby giggling followed shortly after. The baby that was in the blue bundle was Yugo. Albert looked around to see if anybody left their child, only to find none. By Enutrif. Albert said, picking up the baby Yugo. Suddenly, a small little bird popped out from inside the blue bundle. So what are you doing here, little munchkin? And you little ball of feathers? The baby Yugo's face crunched up slightly and shortly after, the sound of someone breaking wind was heard. Ah. Well, my little godball, is that how you say hi where you come from? Albert soon laughed before the baby Yugo pulled out a glowing blue feather and started shaking it around. And what's this here? Albert plucked the feather from the infant's hands, holding it up for examination. Suddenly, the blue feather flew out of his hands and started writing strange symbols in a circular pattern in the air. As soon as the writing came full circle, the symbols shot out at Albert's eyes. Well, I'll be darned. All I needed to do was hang up my shovel to find the most priceless treasure of all. The baby Yugo stared at Albert before smiling and giggling. Flashback end. And that's when I settled down in this town. Albert finished. So just to be clear, it wasn't Felis? Rule asked. No. Albert said with a deadpan expression. With Yugo. One gobball stew coming up. Yugo said, placing a pot of water to boil and slicing up a carrot midair, the slices landing on a pan. Chop chop. Watch out, Oz, things are gonna heat up. Various condiments and food items flew up in the air, one causing Oz to fall into a flour bag and another knocking a shelf down. Watch out. Yugo exclaimed, thrusting his hand out as it lit up a blue color, causing a portal of the same color to appear on the ground, the contents of the shelf that was knocked down falling in said portal. Ah. Did I do that? Yugo walked over to the spot where the portal appeared and touching the ground. The boy channeled Wakfu into his hands, causing a blue spark to fly out. Yugo channeled even more Wakfu into his hands, causing another portal to appear, sending the contents of the fallen shelf flying out. You okay, Yugo? Albert called out. Yeah. Just fine. Yugo replied. Sheesh, I better clean this up. With Naruto, Albert and Rule. You sure everything's okay back there? Naruto questioned. I'm pretty sure that the sounds coming from that kitchen mean something happened. Yugo has his own way of cooking. Very unique. Albert stated. But trust me, he'll make a worthy successor. With Yugo. I'll try that again later. First I have a meal to serve. Yugo said, walking off to finish the orders. Oz jumped out of the flour bag. After the tiny bird recovered, Oz noticed a glowing blue feather sticking out of his back. He tried shaking the feather off, but failed to. With a sigh, Oz just accepted the fact a new feather just popped out of nowhere. Everyone watch out. Nobody move. Yugo exclaimed, tossing the first of 4 plates he balanced on his head, in his hands, and on his right knee. The plate landed on one of the customers' tables, followed by a cup, a fork, and a knife. Yugo jerked his right knee up, catching the plate in his empty hand before walking up a stair railing, tossing another plate at a second customer. Yugo held the last 2 plates up, a look of determination on his face as he threw the last 2 plates. Naruto grinned and caught the flying plate, moving it around so that the projectile fork and knife were caught on the plate. Rule, however, was not so lucky, his plate landing on his face. Haha. 2 out of 3. Not bad, huh? Yugo said. Naruto held up a sign with a 8.5 on it. Oh. Why not a 9? Yugo whined. You forgot my drink. Naruto deadpanned. Yugo smiled sheepishly as Albert quickly helped wipe away the splattered food on Rule. Outside the inn. A young man giggled perversely as he read a magazine depicting a shot of a woman playing godball. An explosion sound was heard, causing the man to break out of his stupor. Looking out of a crack in the outhouse, the man saw an explosion happen near one of the buildings. An orange blur hopped from building to building, causing explosions as he did so. Hey, can't you wait your turn? It's occupied. The young man said. Inside the inn. Here you go. Sorry about that again. Albert said, giving Rule a new plate of godball stew. Though I'd be a lot more sorry if you had actually paid for the meal. I forgive you. All artists can be forgiven, Albert. And you are the greatest artist of them all. Rule said, pulling out a wooden spoon. More of your flattery, eh? Alright, I'll get you some dessert. Albert said with a hearty laugh. If I could pay all my meals with flattery, I wouldn't be all skin and bones. Rule thought. So what brings you out here, young man? You look like some type of noble. He asked, directing the question at Naruto, a certain familiar gleam entering his eyes. Sorry, but I'm not of any royal descent. Naruto stated, causing Rule to slump over in defeat. But the robes. Rule said. When my parents first found me, I was wearing these same robes. Naruto stated. Apparently, these things grow to fit me as I grow. Before their conversation could continue, an explosion was heard, followed by another explosion that blew the door back. Standing in the doorway was some kind of demon with long orange hair wearing a sleeveless white shirt with red trimmings, black pants, and shoes, the same color scheme of its shirt. A third red eye with a red trimming was apparent on the demon. As it walked through the restaurant, various customers started trembling. It turned its head to look at the frightened customers, causing them to shoot back in fear slightly. One pair hid their heads in the menu, another freezing up. The demon was not focused on them, however. Instead, it was focused on the trophies that sat on a nearby shelf. Walking over to said shelf, the demon picked up one of the trophies. Pret eye. Nice. The demon said. Forget about that, idiot, we have other things to do. Another voice said, coming from the third eye. Destroy. It's time to destroy. Suddenly, a wooden fork was thrown at its head, causing the demon to turn to the source, only to get hit with a stool. Did you just throw the stool you were sitting on? Rule questioned. My eye, Naruto said, heeding no mind to the angry demon as he continued eating with a spoon. A growl escaped the demon's lips when a tablecloth was draped over its head. Looking down, the demon saw a pissed off Yugo. Hey you, look at the mess you've made. Yugo exclaimed. If you think I'm gonna clean up after you, you're crazy. Huh? The demon grunted confusingly before roaring and pulling its fist back. Yeah, that's it. Let your hate out. The third eye said. The punch crashed into the floorboard, leaving the demon confused as to where its target went. Well, good thing I don't get that upset every time Dad asks me to clean the inn. Yugo said from atop the demon's head. The demon growled before throwing a punch at its own head. Yugo jumped away just in time for the demon to punch itself in the head. After it recovered, the demon growled in rage, causing the frightened customers to start running and screaming. Dad. Those people haven't paid. There are some people who would take advantage of anything. But don't worry, son. I'll recognize them. Albert said, quickly ducking under a flying projectile. Yugo jumped at the demon, only to be swatted away by said demon, sending him flying into the kitchen. Yugo. Albert exclaimed. The demon roared before Naruto stood up, dashing at the beast. The Gundama appeared next to Naruto's right hand, the red-headed man quickly grabbing the ball and morphing it into a black rod about 4 feet in length. Naruto jumped up and pushed off of the demon's head before swinging the black rod in his hand at the demon, knocking him to the side, but not enough to make him topple down. Naruto swung the black rod once more, only this time the demon caught the rod, tearing it away from Naruto as it lifted him up. Just as it was about to punch Naruto, a familiar shovel blocked the fist courtesy of Rule. The demon growled before swinging Naruto at Rule, sending them both flying into the wall. Why does this sort of thing always happen to me whenever I try to complete a task? Naruto cried out, comical tears falling from his eyes. Is there anything broken? Albert asked. He received no answer as Oz started chirping at Yugo, waking the boy. Now, crush them. Destroy them. The third eye exclaimed. Currently, Naruto and Rule were at the mercy of the demon as it held them in each hand. A Shushu. He's possessed by a Shushu. Rule exclaimed. Hey. What's a Shushu? Yugo asked after throwing a piece of rubble at the demon. It's an evil spirit. A demon trapped in an object. When it's badly controlled, it becomes free and possesses its owner. Rule explained. Gramps there seems to know what he's talking about. Get rid of him. The third eye said. Oh yeah? We'll see about that. Yugo said, his hands getting a glowing blue color as 2 portals appeared, one above the demon and the other in front of Yugo as he jumped through, appearing on the other side. Now you're thinking with portals. Naruto joked. The message Albert thought with wide eyes. Flashback start. This child and this tofu are very special, a deep male voice said, along with the strange blue symbols. I have chosen you to take care of them. Raise them well. Protect them from harm with your life. One day, the boy's powers will awaken and a message will appear, telling him where to find his true family. On this day, he will have to set out to find them. The future of the world depends on it. Once the voice finished speaking, the blue glowing symbols shot out at Albert's eyes. Holy work! Albert exclaimed. Flashback end. What are you doing, you brat? Let me go. The third eye exclaimed as Yugo pulled on it, red sparks flying off of it as it did so. After Yugo pulled the eye off, it became a small black sword with the same red eye as part of the guard. Yugo? You okay? Albert said as Yugo laughed. MHM? Yugo said. Suddenly, the fallen demon started glowing. Eh? Albert questioned as the demon shrunk until it became a 17-year-old man with orange hair that seemed to defy gravity. Wow, did he shrink in the wash? Yugo joked. Oh, there's something I absolutely must tell you. The man exclaimed. Rule questioned. Z, the man snored. He's out cold. Naruto stated. Well, kid, that was some pretty impressive stuff. What was that game of hide and seek you played, Yugo? I've never seen that kind of magic before. Rule asked. And what about yours? Albert asked, directing the question at Naruto. I've seen all sorts of magic before, but nothing like yours. It just sorta happened. Yugo replied. Pretty cool, don't you think? I just discovered it when I was doing the cooking. I've always had these powers. Naruto stated, shrugging his shoulders. I don't know how I got them, but I've gotten pretty good with them if I say so myself. Yugo? I have something extremely important to tell you. Albert said. When I found you, there was a message in your baby carriage. It spoke of your powers and your real family. Before he could continue, a scream was heard outside. Outside the inn. A man screamed as a black miniature creature touched him, turning him into an immobile vegetation statue. What's all that racket? Rule asked, the group poking their heads out the doorway to see the madness happening outside. Things are always so exciting whenever I go out. Naruto exclaimed, a grin on his face. Unknown to the group, a robotic lens captured both the blue energy that Yugo used and the black rods that Naruto used. Hey, regular speech. Something regular thought, sarcastic remarks. Somewhere, 10 a.m. statement of a time place change of POV. Hello demon dragon speech. I'm going to eat you demon dragon thought. Hello, flashbacks dream text. Anashimi wo yasashisanai song insert. Chapter start chapter end. Chapter start. Moments before, the Forbidden Forest. Birds flew overhead as the two young women from before were resting at a makeshift camp. I love walking. Though, yeah, I know, we cold stopped in Amelka. Those country inns are always full of surprises. Like, one time, Lady Camellia told me she overheard Ayap ask for a second helping of cockroaches in his soup. Because he liked how crunchy they were. The young green-haired woman said. The blonde-haired woman sighed and looked down at their burnt lizard kebab sticks. But really, a campfire, sleeping out under the stars, all of this, it's more of an adventure than staying at an inn, isn't it? Too bad our adventure will only last a few days. The blonde-haired woman said. The green-haired woman was Princess Amelia Shirin Charm, and the blonde-haired woman was her bodyguard, Evangeline. That's all. I mean the prophecy might take longer to come true than that. Or we might even get lost in the forest. Or get surrounded by some dashing bandits. Amelia stated. But really, Outrigadakis do look pretty tired. We should slow down a little. Your prophetic dream couldn't have come at a better time, exactly one day before your brother's birthday, who you just had another argument with. Evangeline stated. Oh, you know what prophecies are like. They always appear at the wrong time. Amelia said. Yeah, right. Don't take me for a Ayap. Evangeline said. Enough already, dinner's served. Amelia said, handing one of the burnt kebab sticks to her bodyguard. The white things are roots. Evangeline took a bite out of the dreaded food. Good, yeah. Amelia questioned. Huh. Tasty, right. Yum. They taste of adventure. Evangeline said, having grown an immunity to the terrible cooking of Amelia's. Back in Amelka. The woman screamed as the small black creatures ran around turning people into statues of vegetation. Well, say hi to the human excavator, you dirty beasts. Rule yelled as he slammed his shovel on some of the black creatures. Rule Stroud is here. Naruto floated above the ground, his Gundamas, truth-seeking balls, floating around him. He was using a little trick he discovered a year ago, covering the bottom of his legs with Gundamas and mentally commanding them to hover above ground. 6 Gundamas floated in a hexagonal pattern. Naruto said nothing as he commanded the black balls to split into 2 small spears each and shoot at the incoming strange creatures. A frown crossed his face as he felt a small searing pain. A bunch of those little black creatures chased after an elderly woman until they started running in the opposite direction as Yugo chased after them atop a rolling barrel. Ugh. Albert grunted as he swatted the small creatures away. Get out of my village, you ugly beasts. His assault momentarily stopped as he heard the cry of some of the villagers, only to see the elderly Jason and his family trying to avoid being turned into statues. Mia. Jason exclaimed. Stay where it's safe, Jason. let me clean up this mess first. Albert said, smashing the nearby creatures that came close to Jason and his family. Mr. Mayor, look out. Jason said, but was too late as one of the creatures touched Albert. Dad. Yugo exclaimed. Yugo, listen to me. You will get a message to tell you where to find your real family. The message? Go find the message. Albert said before finally succumbing to the effects of the creatures. Dad. No. Move. Say something. Yugo exclaimed, tears falling down his face. He suddenly felt a hand on his shoulder and turned around to see Naruto. Don't worry, we'll stop whatever is going on and save him. That's a promise. Naruto exclaimed, a look of determination on his face. The group was unaware when the same robotic bug from earlier landed on a nearby crate, snapping a picture of the two subjects of interest. Unknown location. The polters are wreaking havoc. A robotic voice chuckled. That old oak tree didn't take kindly to my Noxon. The images relayed from the robotic bug were shown on a screen, specifically the ones of Naruto and Yugo. Oh my. This boy and that noble. Such energy. Amazing. It can't be true. No human can contain that much Wakfu. And the nobleman. I can see trace amounts of it being only a fragment, but I see no end to it. And this tofu. The robotic man said, zooming in on an image of Oz. Since when do those stupid birds have such high levels of energy? I just may have found that dragon again. And a second one at that. The images relayed from the robotic bug suddenly showed Rule charging at it before swinging his shovel, destroying the miniature scout. Amelka, Amakna. My, Oz. That's quite weird. Rule said. Suddenly, the destroyed robot exploded in a blue blast. Stay behind me, Oz. I don't like this blue smoke. As the blue cloud dispersed, a large tree suddenly sprouted up. Oh. Holy pork. What do you think, Tofu? Any chance that would work on a stash of commas? Yugo cried onto Naruto's shoulder, the red-headed man doing his best to comfort the boy. Poor Albert. Don't worry, Yugo, we'll find a cure. I know an Enerepsa, Rule said. Where is he? A familiar voice called out. The boy who freed me from evil Rubelax. Well, I had forgotten about him. Rule stated. You finally woke up, then? Sir Percedal of Sadly Grove. Noble knight, order of the guardians of the Shushus. Percedal said. You saved my soul. I will repay this debt even if it costs me my life. That's not the way he talks to me. A new voice said before chuckling. A knight. I've heard that one before. I command you to put a sock in it, demon. Percedal yelled, pulling out the sword with the same eye that possessed him before. You'd still be a farmhand if it wasn't for me. The demon sword, most likely Rubelax, stated. And a dead one at that. I had a moment of weakness, that's all. I'd have been just fine without you. Percedal exclaimed comically. The truth is that you're nothing but a lowly peasant, totally unworthy of guarding a Shushu. Especially one of my quality. Rubelax yelled. Are you gonna shut up? Percedal asked. Guardian, my foot. Rubelax was cut off when he was suddenly slammed against the ground. Ow. Ow. You're such a wimp. While this was going on, Yugo, Naruto, and Rule stood awkwardly waiting for the argument to end. Will you two just shut up already? There are bigger things going on right now. Naruto comically yelled, somehow his head expanding to comical proportions, effectively silencing Percedal and Rubelax. Look, I know couples sometimes have their problems, but Naruto's right, we have bigger snappers to fry. Rule said, causing Percedal to look around in confusion. Oh, you had polters here as well? Percedal questioned. Polters? I knew that these creatures looked familiar. Naruto exclaimed. And that definitely explains this disturbance I'm sensing. They invaded 2 other villages. They came from the Forbidden Forest. I went myself, but didn't have enough time to find out very much. Percedal stated. I was attacked by a vile monster when I was asleep. And that's when you cried, so I promised to save your life. And then remember when Rubelax said. Will you shut up? Percedal exclaimed. Liar, liar, ow. Pants on fire, ow. Rubelax said in between being slammed against a stone block. Rubelax, would you be so kind as to withhold all of your comments for right now, it isn't the best of times to be doing so. Naruto said. Since you ask so nicely, no. Rubelax said. Seriously, Rubelax? Percedal said. While this was going on, Yugo had a look of sudden realization as it dawned on him how to save his father. The Forbidden Forest. Let's go. Yugo exclaimed. If we can find out why these polters attacked us, we might be able to find a solution. Be careful, Yugo. Terrible things have happened in that forest. Mia stated. Please free our parents. One of the kids pleaded. Don't worry, Rule, Naruto and I will sort it all out. Yugo stated. I usually don't work free of charge, but I'll make an exception for an old friend. Rule said. I'm always up for an adventure. Plus, there is something I need to check out. Naruto stated. What do you mean? Yugo asked. This thing isn't the first reported incident of the same thing to happen. It's been happening for the past year. Naruto explained. How do you know that? Rule questioned. Trade secret. Naruto said. Sir Percy, aren't you supposed to be following your savior and the rather polite noble? Rubelax questioned. The demon laughed as Percedal looked around, only to be pointed in the direction the group went by a kid. Hey, wait for me. Percedal exclaimed. Unknown location. Hundreds upon thousands of those small robotic bugs flew through a canyon to a large clock-like structure. A rather menacing robot with clock-like armor observed this as it occurred. Let's see what my dear Noxans have found about the boy in the blue hat and the red-haired noble. The robotic man said. The Elytrops. The forgotten people. Legends say they were related to the dragons. This was the child old Gruggleorgren was carrying. And the noble, the image changed from an ancient picture depicting the Elytrops to an image of Naruto from the previous fight. I've never seen a power like his before. Perhaps it's from one of the other worlds. No, perhaps there is another world beyond the 12. This calls for a little visit to Amelka. Your time is up, dragon. I'll find you wherever you are. But Naruto, Yugo, and Rule. Bounty hunting? Waste of time. Rule said as the group walked through the forbidden forest. It costs much more looking for bounty than it brings in. As the group walked on, Naruto and Yugo stayed behind, the latter practicing his powers through the use of pranks. The first victim was Oz, the little bird unknowingly traveling through one of the portals and going next to Yugo, causing the tofu to excitedly tweet and Yugo and Naruto to quietly chuckle. 50 years ago it was a respectable trade. But nowadays, well, Rule stated. 50 years ago? So when were you born, old-timer? Percedal questioned. Don't old-timer me, I could still show you a thing or two. Rule said. Hey, has anyone seen Oz? Yugo asked. The yellow tofu peeked his head around a corner before Yugo gave a sly smile, forming a portal behind Oz and dragging him out. Gotcha, didn't I? You know what? We'll play the same trick on Dad when we free him. Yugo said. I used to be a bit of a prankster when I was your age as well, had a natural talent for it. Naruto stated. The forest is enormous. I spent a whole month here and still didn't cover much. I even made a map so I wouldn't get lost. Percedal stated. So I guess we're right here. Rule said. Hey, I don't know. It may not be accurate, but it is pretty. Percedal said, giving an eye smile as he did so. I see, Sir Percedal is an artist. Have you ever considered selling your work? Rule asked. Yugo formed a portal next to Percedal, while Naruto formed a single Gundama and morphed it into a bony-looking hand. I have good contacts in Bonta. The black bony hand Naruto formed was suddenly used to tap Percedal on the shoulder, causing him to jump in fright. The sounds of Naruto and Yugo laughing was all the duo needed to know that the two were the culprits. Alright already, quit yipping around. Yugo, Naruto, take a look up there. Rule said. Why do I have to do it? Naruto complained. Because of the four of us, only you and Yugo can get up high enough to scout out the area. Rule stated. Fair enough. Naruto said, shrugging his shoulders as he flew up. Piece of cake. Yugo said, traveling up higher and higher via portals. Wow, those are cool moves, man. Percedal said. And he's a quick learner, too. Rule stated. As Naruto hovered above the forest, a sudden surge of pain coursed through his body. Ah. It's close, Naruto murmured to himself. Do you see anything, guys? Rule called out. Ooh. Yugo exclaimed, popping out of a portal and causing Percedal to jump back. Well, there's a really tall tree that way. That's where the source of all this is coming from, I can feel it. Naruto said, floating back down to the ground. Why don't we head over there? Yugo asked. Outsmarted by a kid. How pathetic. Rubelax laughed. He's your wielder, what does that say about you? Naruto said, causing Rubelax to stop laughing and Percedal to start laughing at the expense of the demon's sword. You idiot. He's insulting you too. Rubelax stated. This sword is unbearable. Believe me, being the guardian of a Shushu is no mean feat. Percedal stated. We're being watched. Naruto said. Folks, I just want to remind you that this is called the Forbidden Forest because it's the most dangerous forest in all of Amakna. And the reason we're here is to discover why the Polters attacked our village. Rule stated. I think I've figured out the reason why. Naruto stated. What is it? Percedal asked. Help. A female voice cried out in the distance. The damsel in distress. Percedal exclaimed. Awesome. Naruto, Rule and Yugo watched as Percedal ran to the source of the cry. Well, there's no use in just standing here. Naruto exclaimed, flying off after Percedal, Yugo and Rule shortly trailing after him. What a great idea. We all follow the Ayab. Rule said with sarcasm in his voice. With Amalia and Evangeline. What in the world do they want from us? Amelia questioned as she hung from a tree branch while Evangeline rode on her Dragotarchy, the duo surrounded by polters. What I want to know is whoa. Why did I go along with this crazy plan? Evangeline asked. Amelia pulled herself up onto the tree branch she previously hung from as Evangeline shot an arrow at 3 of the polters. Of course they're friendly. And you call yourself an adventurer? Yeah, but we all make mistakes, right? Amelia said. Suddenly, she noticed a white and red blur fly towards her, stopping yards away from the branch. Hi! Naruto exclaimed cheerfully. Hi, Amelia said, taking a moment to take in the redhead's appearance. Hiya! Percedal exclaimed, jumping out from the bushes and swinging his sword at the various polters around him. Looks like you guys could use a hand. Naruto said. Well, kinda sorta maybe. Amelia said, having the decency to blush out of embarrassment. Okay. Naruto exclaimed, forming a Gundama before morphing it into a long shakujo with 6 rings on one end and a blunt sickle on the other. Landing on the ground, Naruto proceeded to assist Percedal in attacking any polters until the small black creatures started running. After what was thought the last of the creatures left, Percedal did a pose. A lone polter made its way across the branch. Amelia was on to said woman. Filthy creatures. They're everywhere. Amelia exclaimed. A black rod suddenly pierced through the polter. Amelia looked down to see Naruto's hand outstretched and a grin on his face. A cracking sound was suddenly heard as Amelia looked down to see that the black rod had pierced through the polter rather too well, causing the branch she was on to break, sending her falling. I gotcha. Naruto exclaimed, speeding to intercept the falling form of Amelia and succeeding to catching said girl bridal style. When the branch landed on the ground, the Dragotarchy Evangeline was riding bucked and sent her flying. Percedal caught Evangeline as the Dragotarchy sped away. Earl and Oz suddenly arrived on the scene, followed by Yugo, who arrived via portal. Naruto carried Amelia down to the ground, placing her on her feet. Percedal placed Evangeline on her feet as well. I believe that we've already met. Rule stated. Rule Stroud, your humble servant. And this is the intrepid Sir Percedal, renowned warrior knight. He said, motioning to Percedal. This is Yugo, the adopted son of my best friend. The polters turned his father into a shrub along with the rest of the village. We're here to find out why and hopefully find a cure. Naruto stated. Oh, where are my manners? My name is Naruto. Well, my name is Evangeline. And this is Amelia. We're on a pilgrimage together. Evangeline stated. And what are 2 pilgrims doing in the Forbidden Forest, if I may be so bold as to ask? Rule questioned. We Evangeline started. The same as you? 2 nights ago I had a prophetic dream. Sadida told me to go to the Forbidden Forest for a special mission. So we were destined to meet each other and follow the same path. Amelia said. Even if some people think my imagination is overactive. Like who? Percedal asked. Someone has to be realistic, don't they? Evangeline stated. Cool. The more of us there are, the better the chance of saving my village. Yugo said. Evangeline looked back at Percedal, who awkwardly laughed before she walked away. Hey Romeo, take it easy. Rubilak said. It's not as if she's a princess now, is it? Bounty hunter. A sure road to ruin. Expenses, equipment. It costs much more looking for bounty than it brings in. Rule stated. You already said that, old man. Naruto said. Really? My father always said he had it good before. Evangeline stated. You call surviving on roots and dirty water the good life? Rule said. Suddenly Naruto dropped down in pain. Naruto? Are you alright? Yugo asked in concern. The forest, it's in pain, Naruto muttered. Oh, it's horrible. Horrible. Poor thing. Amelia said, walking up to a destroyed tree. Percedal had Naruto's arm slung over his shoulder, the red head still doubling over in pain. This is what I was trying to tell you earlier, Naruto said. The forest is like a living creature. It's been injured and to heal it must get back what it lost. Agrest's chaos. Evangeline said. You believe in that old legend? I always thought it was gobble nonsense. Everything gets blamed on Agrest and no one even knows if he exists. Rule stated. What's the matter? Evangeline asked. I felt something. An ancient evil presence. We really aren't welcome here. Amelia said. Really? Well, I'll have to give them some hospitality lessons. Percedal stated. Ah. Show off. Rubilak said. Whoa. I've never seen such a big tree in my whole life. Yugo said. He's been affected too. Amelia stated. That machine there? Rule said, pointing out a destroyed robotic bug. I pulverized one of those back in Amelka. Naruto stood up shakily and started walking over to the large tree. Huh? What's this now? My instinct tells me we aren't the first on the scene. He said after seeing a large pile of weapons, armor and other various items. The good thing about brave adventurers is their pockets are always full of commas. Ah. Suddenly, a large wooden hand shot out of the pile of adventurer's gear, revealing a tree-like creature. Hey, relax. I just hate seeing waste. Rule said. That's what attacked me in the middle of the night. Percedal stated. Treechnids. Amelia exclaimed. 4 more Treechnids appeared, surrounding the group. Set me free, peasant, it's your only chance. Rubalak said. No. Never again, demon. Percedal said. Ah. Looks like we don't have a choice. Time to attack. Rule said. Take 1 each. Evangeline stated as she and Amelia threw their cloaks off. Aggressive brambles. Amelia exclaimed as Evangeline shot arrows at one of the Treechnids while she formed large vines that shot at another Treechnid. Naruto shot a Gundama at a third Treechnid, which upon impact turned into spikes that shot out of various places in the beast. Take this. If you stand the heat. Percedal exclaimed as he hacked and slashed away at the fourth Treechnid. My shovel. Rule said, throwing his shovel at the fifth as it struck the Treechnid and came back to him like a boomerang. Last but not least my frozen arrow. Evangeline said, shooting a frozen arrow at the Treechnid she was fighting, causing it to freeze up. Not bad for a dottery, old Enutrif. Not bad for 2 Comalus pilgrims. Rule said. We sure showed him. Percedal exclaimed. Suddenly, 2 wooden hands wrapped around Naruto and Amelia. Amelia. Evangeline exclaimed. Hey. Naruto exclaimed. The wooden hands suddenly dropped him, allowing him to levitate for a few seconds before he followed Amelia. Leaf. Is that you? The large Treechnid asked. Leaf. Little Leaf. They're stopping. Yugo exclaimed, the polters stopping to surround the group. The source of pain seems to be coming from this one, Naruto stated. What happened? Strange machines came here. They burned my heart and stole the sap from my little brothers. The elder Treechnid stated. Am I dreaming or are they talking to a tree? Rule questioned. Why is he calling her Leaf? Yugo asked. He must think she's someone else. Evangeline stated. My polters are turning all the humans into trees. All the humans. From now on, their destiny and ours will be one and the same. The tree stated. Venerable soft oak, you're mistaken. They don't all have hearts of stone. You must believe me, I am Princess Amelia Shirin Sharm, daughter of King Shirin Sharm, great protector of the world's forests. Amelia said, much to the surprise of Naruto. So you're not Leaf, eh? The tree questioned. I don't like that. Evangeline stated. You see? She really is a princess. Percedal said to Rubalax. Huh. The polters started moving closer and closer to the group. Evangeline, watch out. He exclaimed, smashing one of the creatures. Ah, that deserves a little, right? He asked, puckering up. He didn't get the as the polter he smashed reformed and touched him, turning him into a vegetation statue of a man puckering up. Elder Oak, I beg you, Naruto started. And you? The tree said, his attention focused on Naruto. I don't know who you are, but I sense your strong connection to nature. I am but the eldest son of a retired adventurer and a merchant, what do you mean that I have a strong connection to nature? Naruto asked. I am done talking. The tree said. Listen to me, I beg you. I have no idea who Leaf is. And I don't even know what Sadita expected of me by guiding me to you. But I do know that the world's forests are threatened in many ways. And only men and women who are free can protect them. Listen to my heart and you will know that I speak the truth. Amelia said, placing her hand against the tree. She sent her energy through the tree, causing it to gain some life, but not enough to fully recover. Another hand was placed atop hers, causing her to look up to find Naruto channeling his energy as well. With the additional help from Naruto, the tree began to fully recover. Naruto, son of nature, Amelia of the Sadita kingdom. Thank you. You have calmed my anger. Like Little Leaf did, oh, so long ago. Out of friendship for you and your people, I shall remain patient and have hope in mankind. The tree said. Naruto started levitating. What are you doing? Amelia questioned. Naruto said nothing, focusing on the tree as he began levitating, his eyes turning into glowing white orbs. Lokuten. Mori no Ten no Fukijin, would release. Heavenly restoration of the forest. Naruto yelled, throwing his hands out as the dead trees and grass around them started healing. Naruto cried out, having used quite a lot of energy in the technique. When the technique was finished, Naruto's arms flopped to his side as he began to fall. Amelia caught the unconscious red head before checking if he was still alive. He's still alive. Just unconscious, Amelia stated. Probably because of overexerting energy. A sage, the tree said. Naruto, I give to thee the title of sage. Naruto the sage. Huh? Yugo said as a polter went up to Percedal and unfroze him from his vegetable-like state. As Percedal unfroze, still mitting face, he accidentally ed Rule. Oh. Now that is classy. Rubalax laughed as Rule pushed him off, spitting after doing so. Cool, thanks, Naruto, Amelia. You guys saved my village. Yugo said. 1 hour later. Dad isn't gonna believe the adventure we had. Yugo exclaimed, the group traveling back to Amelka via Polters, who carried the group all the way. Percedal and Yugo had smiles of pride on their faces, Rule was looking around at the Polters that carried them, Evangeline was looking forward, and Amelia had the exhausted Naruto's arm over her shoulder. I do declare, this isn't a bad way to travel. Rule stated. Yugo, even if we have to battle every last demon in the world, with Iap as my witness, I'll repay my life's debt. My blade is yours. Percedal said. Oh, really? Maybe you should ask me first. Rubalak said. Thanks Stally. My father and I need to find my family. Join us if you want. Yugo said. Dally? Ho ho ho. Dally. Rubalax laughed. By the way, I'd prefer it if you didn't call me Dally. Please remember that I am a knight after all, and so I'd just appreciate a little respect. Percedal said. I'd love to help him find his real family too, but Evangeline said. But a princess doesn't go off on adventures. A princess is a delicate little plant. I know the score, you know. And my father and brother never let me forget it. Amelia said. But I'm sick of sitting around looking pretty. I want adventure. I want to explore the forests of the world. That's the spirit. Naruto encouraged, tiredly pumping his arm up. Let's talk to the king about it. Maybe he'll let us help Yugo. Evangeline said. You really believe that? You know my father. He'll go totally crazy. He won't entertain a word of it, you know. Amelia said. I don't know, Evangeline said. Come on, let her live a little. Naruto said. Sometimes we need to let loose and go find ourselves before we can accept what we deny. The group of Polters began to split off and unfreeze all those who were turned, including Alibert. Alibert said. Dad. Are you okay? Yugo asked. Yugo. Come here, little Pewee. You know, I really thought I'd never see you again. We've been on our feet all day. How about you? Alibert asked. I learned a lot about my powers, right Dally? Yugo said. Speaking of which, we have important things to talk about. Alibert stated. I know about the message, but I wanted to free you first. Yugo stated. Greetings. My name is Nox. A familiar mechanical voice stated. Huh? Evangeline said. The group turned around to see a strange Zealer levitating in midair. Do exactly as I say and everything will be not so bad. Nox said. You. The boy in the blue hat. And you. The boy with red hair. We have a lot to talk about too. The inn is closed. Come back tomorrow. Alibert said. Bet behind me, princess. Evangeline said, notching an arrow aimed at Nox. You're quick, young Craw, but not as quick as I am. Nox said, freezing the arrow a mere feet away from him before teleporting behind the girl. He's a Zealer. A time wizard. Rule exclaimed. And my time is precious. Nox said, pushing everyone away and freezing time. And your time is up. He laughed. Now, my boy, you will tell me everything you know about Gragolorgrin the dragon. And I mean everything. The dragon? What are you talking about? Naruto questioned. Dragon? I don't understand. Yugo said. This one seems very resilient to my time spell. Nox said, walking over to Naruto. Maybe you'll talk more if I deal with your friends first. Starting with the princess. A light blue beam shot out from the Zealer's hand at Amelia. I will destroy every single cell of this girl's body one by one until you tell me how it is that your energy is near infinite. A strange sword unfolded into Nox's hands and he pointed it at Amelia. Now start talking. Naruto said nothing but began straining, his hand slowly extending outward as a Gundama Shikujo formed in the same hand. Don't you dare lay a finger on any of my friends. Naruto yelled, slamming the sword Nox held away before slamming the Zealer away. As Nox landed on the ground, Naruto's Shikujo went to strike the Zealer. A small distortion stopped the Shikujo from making contact with Nox before the Zealer disappeared, shattering the Shikujo and sending Naruto flying back. Naruto? Are you alright? Amelia asked, the effects of Nox's time stasis having worn off the moment the Zealer disappeared. Naruto panted as his clothes began to rot away, leaving him in only a pair of black pants, causing Amelia to blush slightly. With Nox. Nox narrowly escaped the strike from Naruto, falling into a small pond. Ah. You haven't seen the last of me, kid. Nox laughed maniacally. Later that day. Naruto, Yugo, Amelia, Evangeline, Rule, and Percedal looked back as they neared the town border. The group had their destination in mind, having found out the location of Yugo's real family after accidentally plucking the glowing blue feather off of Oz. You will always be my real father, Alibert. I'll never forget you. Yugo thought. Come on, kiddo, we have a new family to find. Naruto exclaimed. Why are you still not wearing a shirt? Amelia asked. Because I can. That, and the fact that I don't have any spare clothes yet, Naruto said, causing all the others to sweat drop. Come on, guys. It's adventure time. To Oma Island and Yugo's family. Percedal exclaimed as Rule tossed a blue gem into a portal frame, causing a light blue energy to fill the frame. Right, let's start by going to Kalba Market. With a little luck, we can get a map there. Rule stated. I needed to go there anyways. Naruto said. Follow me, friends. Percedal exclaimed, jumping through the portal, followed by Rule, and then Yugo. I've made up my mind, Eva. I'm not going back to the castle. If my father loves me, I'm sure he'll accept my decision. Amelia stated. But I'll understand if you don't want to come. You don't even know how to cook a newt kebab. But I'm warning you, we help Yugo find his family and then go straight back to the castle. Evangeline said. Okay, but quit calling me princess and stop treating me like one. Amelia stated. From now on, I'm your good friend Amelia. Okay. I'll treat you as a friend, princess. Evangeline said. Come on, guys. Adventure awaits. Naruto exclaimed, swooping in low and grabbing the duo by their feet and shooting into the portal. Ah. Amelia and Evangeline exclaimed as Naruto laughed. Percedal was the first to arrive out of the portal, his demonic sword drawn and prepared to attack anything that moved, spooking a few nearby birds. Rule came flying through the portal seconds later, crashing into the dirt path with a grunt and a thud sound. Following shortly after was Yugo, who landed on his own 2 feet with a grin before rushing forward, eager to explore the new landscape. Aye. Amelia and Evangeline cried out over the sound of Naruto's laughter as the trio came shooting out of the portal, both girls held under Naruto's arms. Ha 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 ha. You guys should see the looks on your faces. Naruto said, dropping the 2 women on the ground, all the while laughing at their expense. Even the crows that rested atop the portal frame joined in on the laughter. It's exciting, the first time you take a Zop portal, eh? Of course, I do it all the time. Rule said, puffing out his chest in pride. Oh, stop telling another one of your tall tales. You fell flat on your face when you arrived cause I saw you. You just got up quickly. Percedal said, giggling at Rule's expense. I slipped. And you might show a little more respect for your elders, boy. Rule said angrily, turning away from the Ayap. I still prefer traveling via Gundama's truth-seeking balls. Naruto stated. Gundama's? Yugo questioned. These things. Naruto said, forming a Gundama that floated 2 inches above his open palm. Yugo's eyes suddenly had stars in them, he stared in awe at the black ball as Naruto began to will it to change its shape into various objects of the same color. I don't see how you could travel with those things. Evangeline said, dusting dirt off of her shoulders, her anger at Naruto slightly diminished. I can will these things into small platforms, like so. Naruto stated, pushing the Gundama that he made to a mere half an inch above the ground. He then gave a mental command, causing the black ball to change into a flat platform about 12 feet in diameter and half an inch in height. This is how I've always traveled. Not as fast, but more enjoyable. Naruto said, stepping onto the black platform as he spoke. Right, how about we visit the Kalba Market, huh? Yugo asked. Last one, there's a mangy gobball. He exclaimed before sprinting off in the direction of the market. The others in the group watched as the youngest member of their group sped off. Anyone want a ride? I got room for 1 or 2 more people on this thing. Naruto asked. I think I'll walk. Evangeline said, not wanting a repeat of what happened only moments ago. I'll take the offer. Amelia said. Naruto extended his hand to the princess, pulling her up as the platform began to go up, stopping at around 10 feet above the ground before speeding off towards Kalba Market. DCH, youngsters these days, Rule mumbled, walking off slowly towards Kalba Market. Yugo was grinning as he kept running forward, confident that he would win the unofficial race he started. 50 seconds later, the black platform Naruto and Amelia were on pulled up next to him, somehow maintaining the same speed as Yugo. Having fun there? Naruto called out. Currently, the young red-haired amnesiac was lying on his back lazily while Amelia swung her legs off the side of the platform from the place she sat. Hey, no fair. You never said we could use our powers. Yugo exclaimed, a childish pout coming across his face. You never said we couldn't. Naruto pointed out, a grin on his face as he did so. Fine. If you're going to use your powers, then so am I. Yugo said, forming a blue portal in front of him seconds later. The young boy reappeared 100 yards away, a grin that matched Naruto's on his face. Oh, game on, kid. Game on. Naruto grinned, his Gundama platform speeding up slowly. How fast can this thing go? Amelia asked. Watch. Naruto's grin grew even wider as the black platform lurched forward, speeding up at an exponential rate. Yugo looked back at his competition and panicked, slowly speeding up and running in a comical fashion. Despite this, Naruto eventually caught up to him, bumping the front of the black platform against Yugo. After a few more minutes of speeding towards Kalba Market, Naruto decided to mess with Yugo a bit, forming a pair of Gudendamas at his heels. Naruto then proceeded to mentally command the Gudendamas to coat themselves around Yugo's feet and shoot up into the air and hang him upside down. Wah! What the Yugo exclaimed, suddenly finding the ground above and the sky below. Learn a lesson from the master of pranks. You don't mess with the master of pranks. Naruto grinned, flicking his hand to the right, which in turn caused the upside-down floating boy to turn to face the grinning amnesiac. Kalba Market. The remaining members of the group eventually caught up to Naruto, Amelia, and Yugo. Said blonde blue, baggy hat wearing boy was currently running up to various vendor stalls and looking at what they had to sell. Owoza doza. There's loads of amazing things here, it's so cool. Yugo exclaimed. And for a few commas, you can have whatever you want. An Enutrif vendor stated. That's perfect. Well, the first thing we need to do is to club together and buy a map of the world. Evangeline stated. And get you a shirt. Amelia stated, a slight tinge of red spreading across her cheeks as she was reminded that Naruto still had no shirt on. Count me out. My purse is as bare as a field of Kowits on Wabat Island. Rule said. Spent all your money on that beautiful outfit of yours, did you? Naruto asked sarcastically, causing Amelia to laugh, along with the sound of sinister laughter. After a few moments, Amelia stopped laughing when she heard the sinister laugh. Hey, Amelia, you sound like at work. Yugo said, hearing the sinister laughter like the others. Not very classy for a gentle maiden. Percedal added. But it wasn't me. Amelia said. Ugh, it was him. The Enutrif vendor exclaimed, pointing at a black flying figure in the sky. The group of adventurers' eyes widened, save for Naruto, whose eyes narrowed as he stared at the flying figure. The black crow Naruto muttered, the Enutrif vendor exclaimed. Black crow? Yugo said, his eyes narrowing. Black crow. Your reign of terror ends today. Naruto exclaimed, forming a Gundama Shikujo in his hand and charging at the flying figure. The black crow cackled before shooting through a small vendor's stand and swiping his blade low and through the ground, heading for Yugo. Before the blade could even come close, Naruto suddenly appeared, the crescent-shaped side of the Shikujo blocking the sword. Naruto was pushed back a few feet by the blade when suddenly, the black crow pulled up, flying off with an evil cackle. I'm really starting to enjoy things around here. Percedal exclaimed. Take cover. I'll deal with this crazy bird. Evangeline stated. Take cover. You're joking. Percedal said, pulling out Rubalax. Hey. Black Crow. Come fight. Pathetic merchants. Fear the fire of darkness. Fear your worst nightmare. Tremble before the power of the Black Crow. The Black Crow exclaimed, shooting off raven eggs that hatched midair and destroyed the remaining vendor stands. He's destroying everything. What should we do? Yugo asked. And where's Naruto? The group looked around to see where the pale red-haired boy went, only to find him charging at the Black Crow. A Gundama formed at the tip of his Shikujo seconds before he swung the black tool back and shot the Gundama at the mysterious crow-themed vandal. The Black Crow just laughed before flying off to avoid the black ball. Come down here and fight, you coward. Percedal yelled. I think he heard you. Evangeline said, noticing how the Black Crow was turning back to them. He's quick, but if we attack together, we might be able to hit him. Are you ready? Yugo asked. The Black Crow raised its lance and prepared to strike. Ready? Ready? Evangeline exclaimed. Ready? Percedal said, getting into a defensive position. Three, Yugo muttered, the Black Crow coming in low, its lance striking the ground. Two, Evangeline muttered, priming a light arrow. Percedal began counting on his fingers, unknowingly missing his opportunity to strike against the Black Crow. The coward. He's flying away. Percedal exclaimed. He's done what he came here to do. Naruto muttered before going over to one of the destroyed stalls, picking out the wreckage to allow a family of 5 to get out of the debris. Thank you, young man. We were lucky, he nearly got us. The man said, grateful for Naruto's help. I knew that lousy bird would come back to attack us. But if you think that's all it takes to make me leave, then believe me, you are completely mistaken. The Enutrif vendor exclaimed, his fist raised in anger before he lowered it and sighed. Sir, I'm sorry, we weren't able to do anything to stop him from destroying your stall. Yugo said to the Enutrif. Well, at least you guys tried, that's something. The Enutrif vendor said. Are there any other merchants around here? We're looking for a map of the world. Rule asked. I don't think there are any others around here that haven't been destroyed. As much as it pains me to send business a competitor's way, a little further south, you'll find Cabrock's shop. He's a specialist in bric-a-brac. The Enutrif vendor stated. Does he ever get attacked? Amelia asked. Not Cabrock, he's as rich as he is crafty. He built his shop underground, out of the Black Crow's way. The Enutrif vendor replied. Thank you for this valuable information, good man. And you can be sure that if we meet this Black Crow again he will not escape. Percedal stated. Really? No offense intended, but there's not a lot you can do, even Naruto could barely keep up with him. The Enutrif vendor said. Wait, how do you know Naruto? Amelia asked. Are you kidding me? The kid's been trying to stop the Black Crow long before you even heard of him. The Enutrif vendor stated. It's true, I've been going at this ever since I first saw him, Naruto stated. Flashback start. The young 8-year-old Naruto looked up at the sky. Various small vendor stands were destroyed around him, some of the destroyed stands even had smoke coming off them. Men, women, and children alike all cried out in fear as they were terrorized by a flying black figure. Pathetic merchants. Feel the wrath of the Black Crow. The man atop the flying beast exclaimed, shooting his raven egg bombs at the remaining stands. You bastard. Why would you ruin the lives of these innocent people? The young Naruto yelled, tears falling from his eyes as he stared at the Black Crow in rage. Because I can. That's why. The Black Crow replied. Then from this day forth, I will stop at nothing to bring you to justice. That's a promise. The young Naruto yelled, forming a black rod in his hand and charging at the Black Crow. He swung the rod at the masked man, who dodged the clumsy strikes easily. Damn it. Hold still so I can smite you. Naruto exclaimed as he kept swinging his black rod at the Black Crow. You're going to have to do better than that if you wish to defeat me. The Black Crow stated. I will stop you. No matter what the costs. Naruto yelled. He was suddenly struck by the hilt of the Black Crow's lance, sending him toppling to the floor. If you truly wish to defeat me, then train. Train until you've mastered your abilities. And when you have, come find me. The Black Crow said, flying off with an evil cackle. I will. And when I find you, your reign of terror will end, Naruto muttered as he watched the various vendors recover from the assault. Flashback end. Just like that? Evangeline questioned. What do you mean? Naruto asked. You just up and decided to swear that you'll bring this man to justice. I thought it would be a bit more dramatic. Percedal stated. This coming from the guy who swore he would repay a debt to a child that saved him from being possessed by a demon that he allowed to take control of him. Naruto deadpanned. Not everything I do has to be over-dramatic, Dadabeo. A groan suddenly escaped his lips at that last part. Dadabeo? Amelia sounded out confusingly. I have no clue what it means, but my parents say that I am IGGGHHHT apostrophe VEDEVELOPEDAVERBALTICK. Translation. Me have developed a verbal tic. Naruto said, rushing that last part, though the others heard it and laughed. A verbal tic? You? Amelia asked in between laughs. Humph. Naruto grunted, turning his head away and pouting childishly. This only served to make the group laugh harder at his expense. Abrock's shop. The group walked out towards a small shack with various signs that had advertisements on them, Naruto still grumbling about setting a dramatic standard. Say, have you seen this? It looks like this Cabrock is very well known around here. Yugo stated. You're right, he's everywhere. Rule said as the group continued walking towards the shop entrance. Finally, we made it, Evangeline said. Suddenly, Yugo latched onto the hole that led down to the shop. Is anyone there? Yugo asked. If you have come to spend a few commas, you are very welcome, Sir's Miranda's voice called out. Yugo took this as a yes and entered the shop. If our feathered friend wanted to demolish this shop, he'd have to become the Black Mole. Percedal joked as the rest of the group followed after Yugo. Do you think they've got any Sedita bags? Amelia asked. Trust me, I know they do. Naruto stated. Wow. Everyone but Naruto exclaimed. I must be dreaming, that's a Captain Amakna shield. Percedal said. Ah. Amelia said as she saw all sorts of items available. Isn't everything very expensive? Rule complained. They've even got the True Encyclopedia. Evangeline said. This place is amazing. It's great. Yugo exclaimed. There'll be other shops, my friend. If you're drooling over this hovel, wait until you see the shops in Bonta. Rule said. Well, thank you very much. Always nice to hear that kind of thing. Your words are hurtful, Mr. Adventurer. And very misleading as well. In my shop, you will find riches that you will not see anywhere else. Miranda said, entering the room to greet the group. There are treasure here which I never dreamed existed. Forgive my lack of tact, madam. Rule said, moving into Miranda's palm. Only to find his path blocked by a familiar Shikujo, courtesy of Naruto. I'd rather you not do that, please. Naruto said. What are you talking about, boy? Rule asked, trying to cover up his original gesture. What I'm talking about is you trying to hit on my mom. Naruto stated, causing everyone to freeze, save for Naruto and Miranda. What? The rest of the group exclaimed. I'd like you to meet my mom. Mom, these are some friends I made back in Amelka. Naruto stated. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Miranda stated. Cabrock. Her exclamation was loud enough to send Rule flying back. Seconds later, Cabrock came out from behind Miranda. Welcome to Cabrock's, we have the world's biggest treasures for an adventurer's greatest pleasures. Cabrock robotically greeted. Everything is for sale here, as long as you can afford it, of course. Hi Dad. Naruto exclaimed, causing Cabrock to smile. Naruto. It's good to see you. Cabrock said. I heard you went to Amelka and somehow you lost your cloak and brought 5 people back with you. Is it normal for your son to get into so much trouble wherever he goes? Amelia asked. Yes. I once sent him out to fetch a bucket of water and he somehow came back with the remains of half a bucket and drenched to the bone. Turns out, he found a nearby bandit camp that was used as part of a slave trade route and had found it justified to take it out. Miranda said. I'm getting off track, to avoid Kamale's customers wasting out time, we put all of our clients through a little test. She stated, clapping her hands as a small light blue puffy creature appeared. What is that thing? Yugo asked as Oz ducked into one of Yugo's pouches. We call this charming creature a snoofle. They can sniff out commas like nothing else. Miranda stated. We use it for finding money that's fallen behind the furniture. Ah, and also, the richer you are, the more he loves you. Snoffle rushed forward, sniffing each of the members individually, starting with Percedal. He had nothing. Snoffle then moved onto Yugo, then onto Amelia, who shrieked as the small creature searched over her. Evangeline patted the small creature on the head before it moved on to Naruto, tackling the pale red-haired boy to the ground with an impossible strength and began vigorously and excitedly greeting the boy. The small creature then got off of Naruto and moved on to Rule. Yuck, it's not going to sniff Rule, is it? That's gross. Yugo exclaimed as Snoffle began sniffing Rule, stars appearing in the small creature's eyes as it did so. This thing must be broken now. Rule denied, holding down Snoffle's wagging tail. Of course, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at your service. Miranda stated. Any bags? Have you got any Sedita bags? Mine is so last year. Amelia asked, stars in her eyes. Seeds? I need tofu seeds. Yugo added. Some seeds. Over there. My lady is in luck. I've just received a delivery of Pandala bags. Cabrock. Miranda shouted. Cabrock went off to get the Sedita bags they had in stock, coming back covered in at least a dozen bags. These are selling like hotcakes to the elegant ladies of Bonta. Wow. Ah. Amelia exclaimed, the last part because Naruto comically pulled her back. Amelia, you're my friend, you know that, right? Naruto questioned. Amelia nodded her head in response, albeit with a little blush. I was raised in this place by those two. So let me tell you, everything that can and is sold in this shop is overpriced. SH. Miranda exclaimed, placing her hand over Naruto's mouth. Don't listen to him, he's got a few screws loose in his head. Unfortunately, we haven't come for bags. We're after a map of the world. Evangeline stated. A map? Maps are very rare. Miranda stated. Cabrock, we have a map, don't we? Very rare. These merchants are milking it for all it's worth. Evangeline said. Mom and Dad do this sort of thing all the time. Naruto stated. The yelling or the milking? Rule asked. Both. Naruto replied bluntly. With Yugo. Yugo finally found the seeds room, which was next to a room with a monster symbol on it. The youngest member of the group of adventurers decided to go into the room with the monster symbol on it. Wow. Yugo gasped in awe at what was behind the curtain. A trophy room. I've never seen so many monsters. Ooh. He exclaimed as a bag of tofu seeds was dropped next to him, causing Oz to chirp in excitement. I've found the seeds you were after. Anything else? Cabrock asked. Was it you who hunted all these creatures? Some are really impressive, some are really bizarre. Yugo asked, causing Cabrock to laugh. Yes, it's true. Impressive aren't they? I was a big collector when I was young. Naruto used to love hearing me tell the stories of how I got these trophies in my collection. Cabrock stated. Yes, and now your collecting days are over. Miranda said, walking over to her husband as she did so. Oh, yes, I know exactly what you mean, madam. As the Enutrif proverb says, collecting is great, but selling, Rule stated. Is better. Miranda laughed, pulling out a map. Here is the map of the world that you asked for. It should appeal to one who appreciates beauty, like you. It's exceptional. No, Miranda, not the Gravmerv map. It's priceless. Cabrock exclaimed. Dear husband, everything has a price. And let it never be said a traveler could not find what they needed in our shop. Miranda said. But it's power, Cabrock started. It's power. Everyone in the group, save for Naruto, exclaimed, staring eagerly at the map. Naruto just had his face in his hand as he sighed. Come on, have a look. Miranda stated, holding the map up to the 5 adventurers. The group called out. But it's blank. Yugo stated. Oh my sweet, my all-seeing, all-knowing magnificent map of marvels, show me the beautiful land of Kalba, please. Miranda asked. Ho ho ho. Impossible to refuse such a polite request. The map called out before changing into an accurate depiction of the land of Kalba. Fascinating. Evangeline exclaimed. It speaks. Percedal added. We've got to have it. Yugo exclaimed. Impossible. Cabrock yelled. Oh, please, come on, Cabrock. Kicking up so much fuss for a pitiful map is beneath you. Miranda stated. Sire Rule, I have a proposition for you and your friends. You may have the map for free if you rid us of the Black Crow. Oh, not the Black Crow again. What is it you really want? Oh, he's never attacked us. In fact, he's gotten rid of the competition. Cabrock pointed out. Adventurers don't visit often cause of him, and it's bad for business. Not to mention his horrible laugh which rings out for hours after each of his wicked deeds. Miranda said. My poor lady, that must chill you to the bone. Rule said. Before he could Miranda's hand, Naruto whacked him upside the head. Don't even think about it, Tobeo. Naruto comically yelled. Black Crow for the map. Easy. Yugo stated. Excellent, we have a score to settle with him. Percedal said. We need to make a plan. But first, Naruto, please put on a shirt. Amelia stated. Nope. I don't own any other clothes. Naruto stated. How do you not own any other clothes? The group cried out as one. I don't know. The outfit I did wear just grew as I did. I really didn't look into it. Naruto replied with a shrug of his shoulders. Couldn't you just take one of the extra ones that you had in stock here? Percedal asked. I'd have to buy it. Naruto stated. No discount? Amelia asked. I get 15% off any items in stock, but that doesn't really help when the place of business your parents own is a tourist trap. Naruto deadpanned. So, catching the Black Crow it is. Evangeline stated, all eyes turning towards Rule. Why are you guys looking at me like that? Rule asked. Helba Market. Rule grunted in displeasure from behind a makeshift vendor stand. Absolutely perfect. Percedal exclaimed. He is a real Kalba Plains merchant. Evangeline giggled. Then one last little thing and it will be perfect. Amelia said. Rule, remember your words. Naruto asked with a sly grin on his face. Here at Rules, there's all that you need. Weapons for brave warriors or for your tophus seed. Rule stated robotically. That's perfect. Right, you 4. Positions. Evangeline stated. Why do I have to be the bait? Rule asked. My purse is as bare as a field of Kowitz on Wabbit Island. Seeing how the snoofle reacted earlier, you're as rich as Crassus, Mr. Anutrif. So, you either act as bait or you pay for the map yourself. Evangeline said. Now I feel heroic all of a sudden. Rule stated frantically. I thought as much. Evangeline said, firing an explosive arrow up in the air. Boza, I didn't know Evangeline was so good at making fireworks. Yugo exclaimed. Well, she won't get the Black Crow's attention like that. Percedal said. He was proven wrong though, when the sound of sinister cackling was heard. Soon enough, the Black Crow arrived just a dozen yards away from the makeshift vendor stand. Here at Rules, there's all that you need. Weapons for brave warriors or for your tophus seed. Rule said. Hey guys, look here. He's arrived, you can come out now. Pathetic mortals. Fear the fire of darkness. Fear your worst. The Black Crow started. Just a second, I'd just like to ask you something. Naruto said. Be careful, Naruto, we don't know what he's capable of. Amelia stated. Yow guys, maybe. But me? I've been after this guy for longer than you think. Naruto stated. You should listen to your friend, kid. Fear the fire of darkness. Fear your worst nightmare. Tremble. The Black Crow stated. What kind of name is the Black Crow anyway? How ridiculous. Naruto said dismissively. What? What do you mean, ridiculous? The Black Crow asked. All crows are black. Yugo stated. Ah, that's true, the lad's right. Rule added. Well, it's to stress my evil side. A bit like the Black Knight, you see. The Black Crow explained. Yes, anyway. Where was I? Oh, yes. Fear the fire of darkness. Fear. Yeah, but still, you should really find something else, something like the Evil Crow or the Devil Crow. Yugo said. How about Sinister Crow? Rule questioned. Hey. That's not bad. The Sinister Crow. Naruto said. No, but seriously. The fire of darkness. Your worst nightmare? Percedal questioned. It could even be something classy like the Somber Crow. Amelia stated. Or how about the Feathery Shadow? Percedal said. No. I got it. How about the Crow of Darkness? Naruto added. Soon enough, the conversation ended up with everyone speaking over each other, completely ignoring the Black Crow as the masked man stood there awkwardly. He finally had enough and charged forward. "You, my friend, are coming with me." The Black Crow exclaimed, grabbing Rule by the scruff of his shirt with his lance, cackling as he flew off. "Oh dear. That wasn't in the plan. How are we gonna get Rule back now?" Percedal said. "Do we really want him back?" Amelia questioned. "Mr. Cabrock. Madam Miranda." Yugo yelled down the hall to the shop. "So you think they'll lend us their snoofle?" Percedal asked. "We need that snoofle, it's our only chance of finding Rule," Evangeline stated. "I'm positive. They'll do it to stop the yelling," Naruto stated. Shortly after he said this, a thud sound was heard, causing all members of the group, save for Naruto, Yugo, and Rule, that last one for obvious reasons, to jump, Oz hiding in Amelia's shirt. "Careful now, you don't wanna scare it," Evangeline said cautiously. I'm sure you remember the old guy that stank of commas, right?" Yugo asked the snoofle, pulling out one of Rule's commas and showing it to the snoofle. After getting it sent, the snoofle jumped off of Yugo's head and started dashing down the dirt path. Following after the snoofle was Yugo, Percedal, Evangeline, and Amelia. Naruto was about to follow after when the door to the shop was kicked open. "What's all this racket? Can't a person count their commas in peace?" Miranda yelled. "Mom. We just needed to borrow snoofle for a bit," Naruto yelled back. "Naruto. What happened to your clothes? Have you been going around all day like that?" Miranda asked, causing Naruto to sweat drop. How has she only just noticed this now? Naruto thought. "No, I haven't. I got into a fight with a what was it called again? Oh yeah, Azilo something. Long story short, my clothes got disintegrated." "What? First you lose your clothes, then I can't find Cabrock. Cabrock. Cabrock." Miranda yelled that last part down the shop. Naruto sweat dropped once more before trying to sneak off, only to fail as Miranda saw his sneaky attempt at escaping. "Oh no you don't. First, we'll be finding you some new clothes. And then we'll find where your father ran off to," she said, grabbing Naruto by his right ear and dragging him down into the shop. "Where's he gone now? Cabrock. With Rule." Rule groggily woke up, groaning as he rubbed the aching pain on the side of his head, only to see the Black Crow sitting on a mechanical frame of a winged beast. "So, have you finished your nap, Grandpa?" the Black Crow called out. What am I doing here?" Rule asked. "You're the bait," the Black Crow replied. "Again? It's become an obsession now," Rule stated. "We're going to wait patiently for your friends and then we're going to have an epic battle. The kind that legends will speak of," the Black Crow stated as Rule walked up next to him. "It's a beautiful day for opponents to cross swords and kick up some dust from the earth, don't you think?" "Yeah, but aren't we a bit high up here? You know, among the clouds. Couldn't we have done it somewhere down on the ground?" Rule questioned. "What? In battle, the setting is just as important as the opponent. Here, the setting is ideal, the view superb, and the north wind will carry the echo of our confrontation to the ears of the bards whose songs will make us legends. Oh, it's going to be immense," the Black Crow said. "My dear fellow, it seems to me that you are suffering from complete delusion," Rule stated. "I just wonder how a guy like you has been traveling with my son and still has the nerve to chat up my wife," the Black Crow stated. "What? Your wife? I've no idea what you," Rule started but was cut off by the evil cackle of the Black Crow's laughter. "Poor pathetic Enutrif. You low-class charmer." "And yes, the Black Crow is none other than," the Black Crow started, trying to pull off his helmet and failing to do so. Hewurg. "Let me give you a hand," Rule said, unlatching the strap on the side of the helmet. "Thanks." None other than Cabrock the merchant. The Black Crow, now identified as Cabrock, revealed with a small laugh. "Well, this is ridiculous. Aren't you rich enough already? Do you really need to terrorize those poor merchants?" Rule asked. "Nothing to do with it. When life is full of adventures, like mine, it's hard to settle down. Even though I have the finest and most delicate woman there is and the best son there ever will be, I need to feel the wind in my hair. You must understand that. You spend your life on the road," Cabrock stated. "You know, if I were lucky enough to have a woman and a son such as yours," Rule started. "Oh, don't believe that. You and I are the same. We have a real need. Adventure, combat," Cabrock said. "For combat? So you think destroying old stalls is combat?" Rule asked in outrage. "No, them, it's because I hate them. It disgusts me that Miranda wants both Naruto and I to be like them. I'm an adventurer, my son is an adventurer. Not a merchant," Cabrock exclaimed. As soon as he finished speaking, the flying blur that was Snuffle landed on Rule. "Rule, are you okay?" Yugo called out. "Everything's fine," Rule said as the rest of the group, save for Naruto, walked up. Where did Naruto go off to?" I actually don't know. Here's your shovel, Rule. Percedal said, handing Rule his shovel. Oh, Cabrock. What are you doing here? Where did the Black Crow go? The Black Crow is, in fact, Cabrock, who is an old adventurer himself, who got married and who became a merchant. But apparently, he's bored and he hates other merchants, so he disguises himself and vents his frustration on them and on any adventurers he meets. Rule explained as the snuffle sniffed on his head. Is this true, Dad? A voice called out, causing Cabrock to freeze. Standing a few yards away from the group was Naruto, though he was wearing a different outfit. Instead of his shirtless attire, the pale red-haired man wore a black and orange kimono with white on the inside, held together by a black sash, wooden jetta, and a green crystal necklace that hung around his neck. His hair no longer went to the middle of his back, now it was short and spiky. Bandages were wrapped tightly around his abdominal region, the rest of his bare chest being revealed by the open kimono. I'm afraid so, Naruto. I'm sorry, but you would see if you were in the situation I'm in. Cabrock said. I guess I can forgive you, but that's not going to stop me from beating some sense into you. Naruto stated. Naruto. Where did you get the new outfit? What happened to your hair? Amelia asked with a blush, giving the pale red-haired man a once-over. My eyes are up here. Naruto grinned at seeing Amelia's gaze at his bare chest. And apparently, it was going to be a parting gift when I started my adventure. As for my hair, well, let's just say that Mom is skilled with a pair of scissors. Naruto shuddered slightly at the mention of that. Right. Now that everyone's here, let's get started. Cabrock stated, putting the helmet back on and jumping off of the cliffside, causing the mechanical beast he was riding to light up with darkness. Alright. Are you ready? He cackled darkly as he flew up and into the air, pulling out the Gravmerv. I know that you need this map. If you defeat me, it's yours. And Naruto, you have my blessing to go adventuring on your own if you can defeat me. But if you lose, I take all your equipment, your adventure stops here, and you never tell your mother about this. As if we're gonna lose. Percedal stated. Stick together. Evangeline said, the group forming a circular defense. Evangeline primed a light arrow, Percedal held Rubelax in a reverse grip, Rule held his shovel up defensively, Yugo was in a defensive stance, Amelia was in a defensive stance as well, and Naruto formed a black tanto in his hand and pulled it out of its sheath, stepping into a defensive sword stance. Cabrock laughed before swooping in low, causing the group to scatter. Evangeline was the first to recover, rapidly firing off light arrows at Cabrock. By the time Cabrock turned for a second flyby, he shot raven eggs that hatched midair at the group. Naruto formed a black circular wall that blocked most of the birds. There are too many of them, I can't stop them all. Naruto exclaimed, sweating slightly at the strain. This way, quickly. Rule exclaimed, motioning for the group to take shelter behind a small trench in the ground. A few seconds later, Naruto's shield gave in to the constant onslaught of ravens, one of which got lucky and struck Naruto, sending the pale red-haired man flying back. Amelia jumped up, catching Naruto midair, but sending both flying back. Percedal shot up out of the trench, using his demonic sword to block any ravens that were sent his way. Eventually, he too was sent flying back, but instead crashing into Evangeline. The duo got back up, Percedal having his arm slung over Evangeline, as Cabrock came in low to strike the two. With Naruto and Amelia. The two adventurers were sent flying back over the cliff, Amelia instinctually creating a large vine that caught them, unknowingly pressing the duo face to face. Naruto and Amelia both had atomic red blushes on their faces as they pressed into each other. The vine eventually brought both back up the cliffside, leaving an awkward pair of teenagers with bright red faces. Well, that happened. Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head as he looked down at the ground. Yeah, Amelia said, looking down at the ground as well. They were shaken out of their awkward moment by hearing Cabrock's cackling, seeing the flying man flying in low to attack Percedal and Evangeline. Aig! Percedal and Evangeline exclaimed. Naruto. How's your aim? Amelia asked, tossing up a green leaf-like ball. Naruto got the idea and formed a black baseball bat in his hands and swung it, sending the ball flying at Cabrock. The ball unfolded midair to reveal a small sentient doll that slammed against Cabrock, sending the man flying and the doll bouncing back, Evangeline catching said doll. I stopped playing with dolls a long time ago. Cabrock yelled, shooting a bunch of ravens up to gather in a cluster. Fear the fire of darkness. Fear your worst nightmare. Tremble before the power of the Black Crow. Naruto's eyes narrowed before he felt his instincts kicking in. The pale red-haired man sheathed his tanto as he channeled his energy into his hands. Senm. Inten Raiha, Sage Art. Yin release lightning dispatch. Naruto cried out, throwing his hands forward as white lightning with black edging shot outward at Cabrock, whose eyes widened before taking evasive maneuvers. The cluster of ravens was quickly reduced to a mere half a dozen. Cabrock, having dodged the black and white lightning, swooped in low and snatched up Yugo. Goodbye, little warrior. Kabrak yelled, throwing Yugo up into the air. The young boy formed two blue portals, one above him and one right below him, sending him right into Kabrak's surprised face. Kabrak yelled as he fell off his mechanical beast, Yugo following shortly after him. "It's not over, kid." Kabrak exclaimed, shooting more ravens at Yugo, who formed another portal in response. "Huh?" he questioned, not noticing a second portal form under him before it was too late. The crows he shot at Yugo, somehow shooting him instead. Yugo punched Kabrak and used him as a shield to soften his descent to the ground, which shot up a huge smoke cloud. "Well done, Yugo. You nailed that evil crow." Rule exclaimed as Yugo jumped out of the dust cloud. "You were too strong for him, Yugo. We've done it thanks to you." Naruto exclaimed, ruffling Yugo's hair as he did so. "The map is ours," Evangeline said as the Gravmerv was tossed at Yugo's feet. "Well done, kids, you really earned the map," Kabrak said, a small smile on his face. A sudden chilling feeling came across the man as he looked at his son, whose hair shadowed out his eyes, and a deathly aura came from him, causing the 5 other group members to back away slightly. "Ode-eyed," Naruto called out, an evil-looking grin appearing on his face. He looked up at his father, revealing 2 bright white orbs where his eyes should be. "It's time to join the squashed tomato family." Abra could do nothing but stare at his son in fright, his fear immobilizing him as Naruto stomped over to the man he called his father. "Smash." Poor Kabrak. "Smash. Who's gonna help Smash?" The Black Crow regain his Smash. "Honor?" Evangeline asked. "Smash. Who's gonna be able to smash? Heal his wounds when Naruto's Smash. Done with him?" Percedal asked with a sweat drop at the pale red-haired man's actions against his father. A few more punches later, Naruto brushed the imaginary dirt off his hands as his father twitched slightly on the ground. Somehow, the wounds Naruto inflicted on Kabrak had somehow become comical wounds that were either large bumps or covered by large bandages. "Need a hand, old man?" Naruto asked with a toothy grin, pulling up a groaning Kabrak. The Asamoto sat down on a rock staring out off the cliffside, Naruto and Yugo standing behind him. "You have surprising powers, Naruto, little one. And courage as well," Kabrak said, giving a smile to Naruto and Yugo. "With a little more experience, you two will make incredible adventurers. It's true that I've still got a long way to go before I'm as strong as you. It took all 6 of us to take you down, after all," Yugo stated. Kabrak questioned, feeling a similar chilling feeling as before. "Similar, but not the same." "Kabrak?" Miranda yelled. "Oops. There's a battle I lost before I started," Kabrak stated as Miranda groaned angrily. Naruto and Yugo quickly parted, allowing the pissed Miranda to storm over to Kabrak and sit beside him. I thought you'd stopped collecting things and that Naruto and I were the adventure now," Miranda said. "But baby, Naruto is nearly all grown up now, and how do you expect me to replenish our stock of rare items if I can't do some shopping from time to time?" Kabrak asked. "Do you mean you're just restocking the shop, is that it?" Miranda questioned. "Exactly," Kabrak replied. "Oh. But you should have said earlier," Miranda said. Yugo and Naruto smiled before walking off to join the rest of the group. But Naruto, Yugo, Rule, Amalia, Evangeline, and Percedal. "Map, show us Oma Island and make it snappy," Percedal said as the group walked forward. "In your dreams, you numbskull," the Gravmerv stated. "Hey. What?" Percedal questioned. "Remember what Miranda did. You have to flatter it to get it to work," Yugo stated. "Oh, yeah," Percedal said. "Oh, most beautiful map, show us the way to Oma Island quickly, please, thank you." "No," the map said. "Oh boy, you're lousy at flattery," Naruto laughed. "Oh. I think this map is gonna annoy me," Percedal exclaimed. Thanks for watching this video. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow Crimson Kaiubizage for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.